afternoon. Well, the commission ceremony for the first of 3 multi-mission inshore patrol vessels took place in Durban this morning. The locally made vessels, built under Project Biro, were handed to the South African Navy last month. It's the first time since 1986 that a Navy warship was built in South Africa for South Africa. The vessel aims to rejuvenate our Navy patrol capability through these vessels.
It is important to note that the mandate of the South African Navy is to provide the Chief of the South African National Defence Force with a prepared and supported maritime defence capability necessary for the defence and protection of the South Africa and its people. This is what we do. In doing that, our vision is to remain unchallenged at sea. Our mission to win at sea, and our core business is to fight at sea. This is in line with the strategic imperative that our former President Nelson Mandela said during a fleet review in 1997 in Cape Town. The sea is a vital national interest. That is why we maintain a navy.
Dean Wingrin is an aviation and defence journalist. He joins us now. Dean, good afternoon to you, and thanks very much indeed for your time. What role are these boats going to play? Or are they ships? What are they actually going to do?
Thank you, and afternoon, Stephen and the viewers. Yes, these boats, as you call it, or vessels, as the Navy would prefer we call it. As the name implies, these are very much multi-mission inshore patrol vessels. So they will be undertaking a wide variety of tasks, from training the naval sailors and officers to assisting with deep-sea diving and the divers, search and rescue. They can do anti-pollution and fisheries patrol, particularly as South Africa does have a problem patrolling the deep oceans for illicit and illegal fishing. And one of the capabilities of this vessel is that you can put modular containers on board, and thus you can use it for anti-mine countermeasures. We particularly see it now in the Black Sea, where both Ukraine and Russia are accused of mining the harbors. So these vessels will be able to do these anti-mining operations as well. And these containers can also be swapped out. So you could put in accommodation if you need additional crew or on rescue missions and so on.
So they can do a wide variety of things. We know that people are breaking the law in our coastal area, in our exclusive economic zone. Are we able to take them on with these ships? I suppose I'm asking, like all people who never went into the Navy as a young man, do they have firepower?
Well, for the purposes for which they're acquired, which is the inshore patrol, it's not really a requirement to have heavy firepower. That will go onto the larger vessels. Project Biro was initially required to have offshore patrol vessels as well, which are generally larger and will be equipped with more firepower. But the indoor ones are more of a policing role as well. So they're equipped with a 20 millimeter advanced Sea Rogue cannons. These are locally manufactured by Reutech, and with advanced mission systems and radio systems. And those will enable it to undertake the missions for which the vessels will be used.
We're getting 3 of these craft. I mean, will that be enough, or would it, in a perfect world, would we have more of them?
Definitely, in a perfect world, we would definitely need more. Unfortunately, the Navy is severely underfunded. And just to put it into context, the Navy should have a funding budget of roughly 7.5 billion rand. They've got a shortfall at the moment. It's less than 50% of that. And so what this means is the Navy really has to cut its cloth according to the budget that it receives. And hence, the larger Project Biro, which was envisaged at one stage 6 inshore vessels, 6 offshore vessels, was then cut down to 3 inshore and 3 offshore. and eventually now we're getting 3 inshore vessels plus an option for a 4th vessel, which South Africa has got, I think, until the 2nd week of July to decide whether they're going to go for this 4th vessel or not.
So how would you then describe the state of our Navy? These are not the only vessels that we have. We have other vessels as well. We have a submarine, if I remember correctly. I think we have 3 of them. How would you describe the state of the Navy at the moment, considering the problems they have with resources?
Yeah, the Navy is really hanging on by its fingernails to keep its head above water. And that I've always said that the Navy is actually is doing well with what it's got, but it's actually a victim of its own successes, in that as the budget has gone down and gone down, they're actually making do and doing what they can as well as they can with what they've got. But unfortunately, it's not sustainable. And when you think back to 2014, Cabinet approved a defence policy, which was endorsed by Parliament, to give a defence force funding of roughly 1.8% of our GDP, gross domestic product. And the current budget is 0.86% of our GDP, and next year it's going to be even less. So this does not bode well for the Navy. The Navy and Air Force, they're very capital-intensive arms of the Defence Force, in that the equipment is expensive, the spare parts a lot of it comes from overseas, fuel, all denominated in dollars and euros and so on. And the budget is just not sustainable to keep those all these vessels in service and maintainable.
Dean, thank you very much indeed. I'm afraid we are going to have to leave it there.